Right now at 5, a car leaves the road in Newton County, causing it to flip into a ravine.
And we've got a bit of a warmer start for us today, but you may have noticed it's not raining. We'll talk about when those rain chances are going to get here and how warm it's going to get this weekend coming up.
And after several people sue the Kansas Highway Patrol, the fight heads to federal court.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's 5 a.m. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So I wanted to point some stuff out. You know, it's not raining right now. And yesterday morning, we said it would be raining right now, and it's not. So what it is, you know, when it comes to forecasting, a lot of different computer models we look at that say when it's going to rain, what temperature is going to be, and they've been in complete disagreement through yesterday, and believe it or not, even to today, this morning, they're still in disagreement in exactly how our rain will unfold this afternoon. The only thing they agree about is it's going to rain, and our best chances of that rain is overnight. But they're not in agreement at exactly when it's going to start today. So let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. On the Skywatch Storm Tracker, getting a lot of ground clutter from the radar sites, so we can convert it over and kind of clear that out for you. You can see some scattered showers up to our north, some developing right around the Wichita area, and then ongoing thunderstorms just west of Oklahoma City. Any of these could actually end up being our afternoon thunderstorm chances. We still do have that low-end possibility of a strong storm or two. As you can see, there's a very low tornado risk, just barely clipping the area. Low-end hail risk and a low-end wind risk. And honestly, this overall risk is quite low, but there is the possibility of a stronger storm or two. This computer model's depiction of exactly how this is going to unfold. Now, I've looked at the data. I believe that this is most accurate. But again, yesterday, it looked as though it should be raining right now, and it's not. We know it's going to rain, though. So by this afternoon, we start to get some scattered showers and thunderstorms. And I want to emphasize, too, these are going to be scattered. This is not going to be a batch of storms. This is going to be scattered activity rolling through this afternoon. As we head into the evening and overnight hours, that's where they agree. We'll all start to see more widespread rain and thunderstorm chances overnight and into very early tomorrow morning. And that'll all be ongoing by about this time tomorrow and should be moving out of here between about 8 and 9 tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at how much rain we're expecting. We're still looking to get a fair amount. Some of us getting around 1/10 of an inch, a good portion of us, though, getting 1/2 inch, maybe even 2.5 inches of rain out there. And those rain chances are still really expected to ramp up as we head into the evening hours. MoDOT camera 32nd and range line looks good. Same from the camera at 69 and 400. So we're looking good so far this morning. We'll take another complete look at your forecast and tell you how the weekend is shaping up here in a few more minutes. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A car in Newton County leaves the road and overturns in a ravine. Authorities respond to reports of a crash near Gateway, north of River Road at around 2:30 Wednesday afternoon. Troopers say the vehicle was traveling north when it left the roadway to the right, hit a driveway, and went airborne. The car then overturned down a steep ravine before coming to rest upside down. Both the driver and the passenger left the car on their own and were transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. An Oklahoma woman says the law has failed her after Jesse McFadden raped her years ago and was released from prison early. But Crystal Strong says her pain was made worse when McFadden was connected to the murders of those 6 people. Reporter Danielle Barr brings us this horrific story.
Crystal Strong has spent nearly 2 decades of her life healing.
I was diagnosed with post-traumatic stress disorder. I was put on sleeping pills. I was put into counseling. I actually tried to take my own life at one point.
She says the trauma started in 2003. Strong was 16. She says that's when Jesse Lee McFadden raped her.
He had actually held a knife to my throat that night and told me if I told anybody that he would kill me.
Using her strength, Strong spoke up and helped convict him. A judge sentenced McFadden to 20 years in prison. In 2004, he asked the judge to modify his sentence. In a letter, McFadden wrote that he'd, quote, like to get out and prove that I have changed and I'm a better person. He was released in 2020, serving 85% of his sentence.
Yeah, he should have never got out.
On Monday, Strong's wounds were torn open once again. OHP reported 16-year-old Brittany Brewer and 14-year-old Ivy Webster endangered and missing. OHP said they were possibly with McFadden, a convicted sex offender.
I literally got sick because I had this terrible feeling that when when it all went out, that I didn't have the heart to say anything, but I just felt like they weren't coming home.
Hours later, deputies found McFadden dead at this Henrietta property, which he listed on the registry as his home. 6 other bodies were found, 2 belonging to the missing girls.
Do you think someone failed?
Oh yeah.
She says McFadden should have been in custody for child sex crime charges he got while in prison.
Maybe them 6 people that lost their lives would still be alive. And I say 6 because he don't count.
And you can watch Wednesday's full press conference on the KOAM News Now YouTube page. Federal lawsuit is in court this week after several people sue the Kansas Highway Patrol over a tactic known as the Kansas two-step. The lawsuit claims the tactic is when troopers find a reason to make a traffic stop, and then as the trooper heads back to the patrol car, they take a couple of steps and then return to interact with the driver again. The lawsuit contends the procedure buys time to continue seeking incriminating information and to get a drug-sniffing dog to the location, even if the trooper lacks reasonable suspicion. ACLU of Kansas says troopers use it to target out-of-state motorists coming from places where marijuana is legal. A change to an Oklahoma electioneering law takes effect immediately. Electioneering is when a politician or campaigner actively campaigns near a polling place to get votes. The law now says no person is allowed to electioneer within 300 feet of the entrance to a polling place or an in-person absentee voting site during an election. It also restricts electioneering near a person who is standing in line to vote outside the polling place or in-person absentee voting site. The law previously restricted 300 feet within any ballot box. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, MSSU takes on Emporia State University in softball. We'll have who struck out in sports. Plus, as history scores fall, this leaves experts worried about the future. And how internet use is linked to lower risk of dementia. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back.
Well, yesterday was the opening day of the playoffs for Missouri Southern softball. The Lions are the number 2 seed in the MIAA conference tournament and face Emporia State in the first round in Topeka. These two teams split a doubleheader in the regular season. Clayton Withers in the second, solo home run to left, but Southern still down 3-1. Later in the inning, Adriana Young drills it to left center. That gets down, 2-run score on the double from Young. Lions have their first lead at 4-3. Then Emily Perry pulls it down the left field line here to score Young. 5 runs in the second, puts the Lions in front, and they don't look back. Southern wins their MIAA tournament opener over Emporia 11-3. The Missouri Southern baseball team is just 2 days away from kicking off the postseason. The Lions are the 2 seed in the MIAA tournament and will host Newman for a 3-game series in the first round beginning on Friday. Missouri Southern heads into the tournament ranked 13th in the nation with a 38-12 overall record, and they have some momentum. The Lions won 10 of their last 12 games to finish up the regular season, and they've been great at home all year, going 23-5 on their home field.
That's big. You know, we always love playing at home, got the fans to come out, and so being able to play here the first round is just a lot of momentum for us right out the bat.
There's a possibility some guys that haven't pitched a lot of innings maybe are going to have to pitch for us just because the length of some of these playoff series if we're able to get beyond this weekend. But, you know, we need Cole Woods to continue to pitch well, and Cole Gaiman's pitched really well, and we'll just kind of see where we're at for that. But our bullpen's been pretty steady with Leif and Kyle Moore, so hopefully that continues and we don't have to make too many hard decisions with our pitching.
Yesterday was a big day for some Pittsburgh High School student athletes. 4 Pittsburgh seniors signed yesterday afternoon to continue their careers at the college level. Ellie Carpenter signs to stay in Pittsburgh and join the dance team at Pitt State. Tessie Gorley will continue her track and field career at Friends University in Wichita. Then we've got a pair of wrestlers. Jaquan Augustin signs to wrestle at Labette Community College, and Corbin McIntyre is headed to Oklahoma, signing to join head coach Joe Renfro in the NEO wrestling program.
I heard they train 3 times a day, and I was like, yeah, I love that, so I'm going to go there. But I like his training ethic, the way he trains his athletes. Minimum achievement my first year is I'm going to be an All-American. Anything after that is nothing but a national title.
I know they're going to put me to work. They're going to show me what college wrestling is like and how I'm supposed to deal with that.
This will be the first time I've only focused on one sport, so I feel like focusing on one sport I can grow a lot more and get a lot faster and actually be able to compete at a college level.
I really am excited and hope to do well at nationals. One of the big things that Pitt State dance team does that not a lot of other places get to do is we get to go to Florida at UDA nationals, and I'm just super excited to experience that and get to go with a team of super talented dancers.
Well, still to come, a student is arrested in connection with the deaths of 9 others. And we've got another check of that forecast when the KOAM Morning News returns. Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News, 5:16 on this Thursday morning. Let's take a look at the Skywatch Storm Tracker. So we've got a little batch of showers just to the southwest of Kansas City. We've got some developing just to the south of Wichita, and another batch of showers and thunderstorms across central Oklahoma. This whole batch, all of this activity is what could potentially give us our afternoon showers and thunderstorms, the scattered ones at least. And as such, we do have a low end risk for a strong storm or two. So the tornado risk barely clipping our area. It's very low. We have a low end hail risk and a low end wind risk. Overall, this risk is quite low, but there could be a stronger storm or two as we head into the afternoon and overnight hours. So here's what we're looking at. We've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms that'll start to roll into the area this afternoon. Now, bear in mind, this is not rain all over this particular area. This is where scattered storms are expected to be. However, as we head later into the evening and overnight, we will actually start to see rain all over the area, and we'll have showers and thunderstorms as we go into early Friday morning, and as we get into about this time tomorrow morning as well, we'll continue to see showers and thunderstorms across the area, and they will begin to exit, say, around 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. All right, MoDOT camera, 32nd in range line. We're dry and good for now. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. Our camera at 7th in range line, we're good. A little bit breezy. You can see there's a spider web kind of blowing around, but not by much. South breeze at 3. It's 50 in Joplin with partly cloudy skies. Across the area, temperatures look like this: 48 in Pittsburgh, 50 Parsons, 56 in Chanute, 51 Chetopa, Miami, and 48 in Neosho. We start our day, we'll have those cloudy skies across the area, then we'll start to see some scattered showers, and we're going to hit highs in the mid to upper 70s today. But as the rain starts to move in, the more rain you get, the cooler you're going to start to get, and the majority of us are going to start to drop back into the mid 60s. We go through the evening. The nice thing is we don't drop much more from that. We're into the upper 50s for overnight lows, and as mentioned, we'll start to see those shower and thunderstorm chances increase overnight tonight. We're looking to be near 80 tomorrow. Check out Saturday and Sunday. We're pushing near 90 degrees as we kick off next week. And then we still have those scattered thunderstorm chances each and every day next week. So these are going to be scattered. These aren't widespread storms, but we do have those rain chances for virtually every day from this Sunday to next Saturday. Well, the nation's report card shows very poor scores for America's 8th graders when it comes to U.S. history and civics. The assessment is sounding an alarm through the education system, and Michael George tells us what the experts say is at stake.
The latest report card shows kids' history scores are now historically low. The nation's middle schoolers are struggling to explain major themes and events in the country's past and lack a basic understanding of the way government works. 8th grade scores in history and civics dropped to the lowest level since the 1990s, when the Department of Education started the assessments.
It sounds dramatic to say that our democracy is at stake, but I think that's not so far from the truth.
That's because history is about more than memorizing battles or presidents.
If our students don't understand the decisions that were made by other humans in the past, how can they possibly understand the world that they live in now?
According to the nation's report card, just 13% of 8th graders scored at or above proficient in history, 22% in civics.
I think they're avoiding some of the history that they don't want to teach.
The drop in history scores continues an alarming nationwide trend. Every single state has also seen a decline in math or reading scores since the start of the pandemic. Education experts blame the decline on remote pandemic learning and a lack of support for teachers.
There is a fundamental distrust of teachers. They are professionals, and we need to trust them.
With nearly a third of students unable to describe the structure or function of government, educators say this is a wake-up call to the nation. Michael George, CBS News, New York.
That brings us to our question for you this morning. How many historical events have you experienced or been through? Choices are 20 to 30, 30 to 40, 40 to 50, or more than that. We want to hear from you. Make sure you vote through our website, through the app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page. And we will be back with Health Watch right after this.
Topping Health Watch this morning, it looks like using the internet might actually be good for your brain health. A new study found people who regularly use the internet are less likely to develop dementia. Researchers tracked 18,000 adults between the ages of 50 and 65 over an 8-year period. None of them had dementia when the study began, and by the end of it, those who regularly went online were about half as likely to develop dementia. According to the study, the sweet spot is about 2 hours or less a day. Well, drug maker Eli Lilly says it has made a major breakthrough in treatment for Alzheimer's disease and is planning to submit its drug for FDA approval next month. In a clinical trial, the company's medicine donanemab found progression slowed 35% over the course of 18 months. The drug is an antibody that is injected into the blood. It travels to the brain, finds and binds to plaques linked to Alzheimer's. Then the body's own immune system clears away the plaque. The Surgeon General declares the latest public health epidemic as more and more Americans are reporting an increase in loneliness and isolation. Feelings, health experts say, are a major health threat, with loneliness increasing the risk of premature death by 26%, social isolation by 29%. CB Cotton has the story.
Loneliness is far more than just a bad feeling.
This is a new warning from U.S. Surgeon General Dr. Vivek Murthy, the country's top doc, releasing an 81-page report finding widespread loneliness and isolation in America poses health risk as deadly as smoking up to 15 cigarettes a day.
Loneliness and isolation are associated with a greater risk of heart disease, dementia, stroke, depression, anxiety, and premature death.
And if you suffer from loneliness and isolation, you're not alone, with 1 in every 2 adults experiencing those feelings, the Surgeon General declaring it the latest public health epidemic.
Social connection is as fundamental to our mental and physical health as food, water, and sleep.
Research shows the increase in cases stems from people spending less time with friends and family, reduced attendance at houses of worship, and decreased involvement with community organizations. Another major contributing factor, the COVID-19 pandemic, when millions were forced to isolate. Loneliness costs the health industry billions of dollars annually. The report is not expected to lead to federal funding or initiatives to combat the problem, but lays out a framework for people, businesses, and organizations to make changes to boost connectivity.
It's really important that we commit to spending less time with screens and more time with other people.
The report shows social media also contributes to the epidemic, citing those who spend 2 or more hours on the platforms doubled their risk of feeling isolated. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We are sitting dry and decent, at least for right now, across the 4 states, but rain is on the way. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
Right now at 5:30, Pitt State social work students showcase their community-based projects.
We are not under the rain yet, but showers are on the way. We'll take a look at when they're going to get here coming up.
And how a lack of lifeguards may disrupt summertime pool plans.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 5:29. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So it's not raining as of yet. As we mentioned earlier, yesterday we showed it would be raining right now. Computer models on this have been in great disagreement. I actually saw Sam yesterday before the noon news, and he and I were talking about this, and it's kind of been driving him a little crazy too, because our computer models that we look at are just kind of all over the place. And usually at least the day before, even the day of rain, they agree a little bit as to what's going to happen, and they still aren't in full agreement as to what's going to happen this afternoon. The only thing they can agree on is we're certainly getting showers and storms overnight. We're still expecting scattered storms this afternoon. It's just a matter of exactly when and where. So what we're watching right now is we've got this batch of thunderstorms in central Oklahoma, and you can see it's starting to develop a little bit of an edge on the northeastern side, and we've got some showers developing ahead of that, all of that rolling to the east. So if it holds together, then we'll see some showers and thunderstorms this afternoon, or we could see development out ahead of all of that. We do have that low wind risk for a strong storm or two. You can see that low tornado threat barely clipping the area. We got a low hail threat and a low wind risk, and right now, overall, that risk is relatively low, period. But a strong storm or two cannot be ruled out. All right, so as we head into the afternoon, we'll start to see some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and this is what's expected out of that activity to our west, and it will roll through the area as we head through the evening. And as we go into the evening and overnight hours, we'll see more widespread showers and thunderstorms across the area. And honestly, the evening and overnight's our best chance for a strong storm or two if we see any. Here we are to 5 a.m. tomorrow, more showers, thunderstorms in the area, and they'll eventually start to leave between about 8 and 9. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line looks good, as does the KDOT camera at 69 and 400. We are sitting pretty decent compared to the last few days. We're at 50 in Joplin, south breeze at 3 miles an hour. Temperatures across the area look about like this. 52 in Pittsburgh, 56 in Chanute, 51 Chatopa, Miami, and 49 in Neosho. Get our day started. We'll have those cloudy skies, some scattered showers as we head into the late morning. Ahead of the showers, we're looking at temperatures mid to upper 70s. And once we get under the rain, we're going to drop back into the mid 60s and just kind of stay there. And then overnight tonight, upper 50s and more showers and thunderstorms. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. Pitt State announced the newest director of athletic bands and assistant professor of music. Joseph Joby Wilson is a native of the region. He previously served as the director of athletic bands at Bentley University in the Boston area. Officials with the school say Wilson is excited to return to the area after 24 years in Boston. He will replace Professor Doug Whitten, who passed away in June of 2022. On Wednesday, some Pitt State social work students showcased their community-based projects. The students' projects varied in goals. They range from raising money for charities, collecting goods for educational organizations, or educating youth about the dangers of opioids.
Major barrier to both mental health treatment and physical health treatment. And this is actually only becoming more of a problem as technology is increasingly implemented into the healthcare system. And so my project actually focuses initially on raising funds to provide new phones to individuals who enter our program that don't already have a phone.
School officials say the projects are designed to engage students with local organizations and nonprofits to better benefit the community. Well, this week is the National Small Business Week, celebrating businesses around the nation, including in Southwest Missouri. Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce officials say they celebrate small businesses every week. Doug Hunt, Director of Entrepreneurship with the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce, says post-pandemic, more individuals became entrepreneurs starting a new business. He says to support the new business owners to get past critical first years, the Chamber created a website called Launched in Southwest Missouri.
It's a portal, a hub, if you will, of resources for everything that has to do with anybody that wants to start a new business. There are great systems in our ecosystem, like with the SBDC, but we wanted to launch something that was a hub that somebody could go to as a central source to find other support systems.
Doug Hunt says National Small Business Week would be a good time to take a day off to analyze the business's systems and processes, as well as targeted demographic. The lack of city lifeguards may disrupt your summer plans at community pools. KOAM's Amber Jenkins spoke to the City of Joplin about their efforts to open the pool centers this summer.
City of Joplin is in desperate need of summer lifeguards in order to open the community pools. They need at least 30 lifeguards to partially open Schiffer-Decker Pool.
We have 2 lifeguards that are certified, ready to go. We have 9 more that are signed up for training sessions. And we do have some applications that are out there. We just haven't heard from the applicants yet.
In order to fully open Schiffer-Decker and Cunningham pools, the city needs a total of 90 lifeguards by June 2nd. The lack of lifeguards doesn't just affect open swim hours, but other pool programs and camps.
Of course, Aqua Zumba, that's another one that would be affected if we can't open this pool.
That is absolutely time that I take out of the week for me. It's an hour, sometimes 2 hours a week that I can come and I can exercise, and that is for me, and I can be with like-minded women.
Moms like Caitlin value the community pool for their little ones as much as they value it for themselves.
So without having the pools open, we have the parks and those are nice, but what are they going to shut down next, honestly?
I do know every time we pass by the pool, our son always asks if the pool was open.
Some Joplin residents believe the low wage for lifeguards is the reason for the shortage.
Why would they work for less than minimum wage with having to go through trainings to save people's lives and just be on constant alert when they could go flip hamburgers at McDonald's for minimum wage and possibly even more than that?
There's so many different things for kids to do now. They have, they have all their social organizations they belong to. They have athletics, they have camps, they have other jobs.
Reporting in Joplin, Amber Jenkins, KOAM News.
As seasonal city employees, lifeguards earn $11.58 per hour. On Wednesday, Special Olympics Kansas hosted its Southeast Kansas track and field event at Erie High School. Outside of the competitions, the festivities included face painting, music, and physical therapy sessions. Officials with the program say the event offers local athletes the chance to build relationships and compete in a friendly environment.
I think it's really important for both sides of the relationship for athletes with and without disabilities to come together, just because the lessons that they can teach each other, the humbleness, the kindness, the selflessness, it's just really amazing to see.
This is the 10th annual Special Olympics track and field event at Erie High School. On Wednesday, Fort Scott Community College gave elementary students a chance to get a taste of college life. The school's Kids College event allows students to be a Greyhound for a day and explore potential pathways for their future. They were able to check out classes including crime scene investigations, history, chemical reactions, and wellness connection.
What our hopes is today for the students to take away from this is that they get some interaction with our college students. We have a great group of students here on campus, and you can tell that they really care about the community. A lot of our students get out and actually serve in the community and do some volunteer work themselves.
The event was free to any interested student. This morning, we're discussing history.
The latest report card shows kids' history scores are now historically low. The nation's middle schoolers are struggling to explain major themes and events in the country's past and lack a basic understanding of the way government works.
8th grade scores in history and civics dropped to the lowest level since the 1990s when the Department of Education started the assessments, and that's because history is about more than memorizing battles or presidents.
And that brings us to our question for you this morning. How many historical events have you been through? There's a number of options available for you. So far, 60% of you say 20 to 30 and 40% of you say 30 to 40. So make sure you take time to vote through our website, through our app, and take part in discussion on our Facebook page.
I really have no idea. I'd say one of the first two, probably.
Probably, yeah, I'd have to agree.
To really sit down and think about it. All right, that's a look at our top news stories. Coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News, some TV artifacts from older shows make their way to the auction block.
Plus, we head to a town in England built by the soon-to-be King of England. We'll have the latest.
You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. Topping World Watch, a teenage boy has been arrested for allegedly killing 9 people at a Serbian school. Police say they took the 14-year-old boy into custody after finding him in the schoolyard. The 7th grader is accused in the shooting death of 8 kids and a security guard inside a classroom at a school in central Belgrade. Another 6 students and a teacher were injured. Police believe the suspect used his father's gun in the Wednesday morning attack. An investigation into a motive is underway. Police arrested more than 100 people across multiple countries on Wednesday as part of an operation against the Italian mafia. The operation is described by authorities as the largest ever coordinated hit against Italian organized crime. CNN's Barbie Nadeau has more.
More than 130 people have been arrested in multiple European countries in what authorities are calling the largest ever coordinated hit against Italian organized crime. The arrests were part of the Eureka operation and tied to the increasingly powerful 'Ndrangheta crime syndicate based in the southern Italian region of Calabria that has achieved global reach. 108 of the arrest warrants were handed down in Italy. The rest were made in Belgium, Germany, France, Slovenia, Spain, and Romania. Arrests were also made in Brazil and Panama. More than 2,770 officers were involved. The massive sting operation took nearly 2 years of investigation that unraveled an international network of drug smuggling from South America to Europe and Australia. A number of European seaports were also involved, officials said at a press conference announcing the successful operation. The arrests were tied to the 'Ndrangheta's extensive global drug smuggling network, and charges included arms trafficking, money laundering, mafia association, and aiding and abetting of fugitives. Millions of euro in cash, drugs, and weapons were also confiscated in the raids. Barbie Nadeau, CNN, Rome.
King Charles and Camilla, the Queen Consort, along with the Prince and Princess of Wales and their 3 kids, attend a coronation rehearsal at Westminster Abbey. Charles will be crowned Saturday in a ceremony conducted by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Also prepping for the big day, thousands of personnel from the Army, Royal Navy, and Royal Air Force who marched from Buckingham Palace to the Abbey to practice. Coronation of King Charles, just a few days away, of course, and while he's only been Britain's new monarch for 8 months, he's been leaving his royal mark for decades. Ian Lee takes us to a town in the English countryside designed by the former prince.
To help understand Britain's King Charles, look no further than Poundbury.
What we have in Poundbury is high quality, creative architecture.
The tiny town in England broke ground in 1993. The then Prince Charles wanted to create a community built with traditional taste. A better, more eco-friendly place for residents to live, work, and play.
When your stakeholder is royalty, it obviously gives you a little bit of a twinge to make sure you get it right.
Anthony Woodhouse owns the Duchess of Cornwall pub.
My great-great-great-great-grandfather started brewing just up the road. We could not be not part of this experiment.
Royals have tracked the town's progress over the years, even dropping in for a pint.
We brewed a special beer called the Duchess, and we had the Duchess of Cornwall pulling a pint of Duchess to open the Duchess as she handed it to Prince Charles as he was then.
The monarch's mark is all over town, from a statue honoring his grandmother to a building inspired by Buckingham Palace.
Prince Charles, as he was as Duke of Cornwall, has had an intense interest in Poundbury from the very start.
Would you say that the king is proud of this community?
I think the king's very proud of the community and what the community has made of itself.
And you can bet Poundbury will be proud when its founder is crowned king. Ian Lee, CBS News, Poundbury, England.
Poundbury officials say homes in the area are selling fast, and the town is set to be completed in the next 4 years. There's also some talk of the king's son, Prince William, possibly designing his own community in the future. How cool would that be? That's a look at some of your biggest headlines from around the world. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. It is now 5:47, time for checking that forecast. So let's take a look. Mentioned earlier when I showed you the Skywatch Storm Tracker with all these sweeping radars on here, lots of ground clutter. What is actually happening is this activity here, some of this here, down by Ponca City, and now within the last 15 minutes or so, we're seeing showers developing across parts of southeast Kansas. And we can zoom out and show you on this composite image that actually starts to clear up some of that ground clutter. Take a look right through here. This activity is actually happening. We're starting to see showers and storms develop. This goes back to what we discussed earlier about how the computer models, even to this morning, have not had a really good handle on exactly how things were going to play out for the afternoon. The only thing they've all agreed on is the showers and storms overnight tonight. One of them that I showed you yesterday did have it already raining about an hour ago here. But this seems to be playing out to what that one believes. So we are starting to see some scattered showers, and those could evolve into some thunderstorms. So we'll watch that for you. We do have that low wind risk for a strong storm or two. We talked about that. Now, any stronger storms look to be overnight tonight. It's a very low risk. You can see, let me get it back here. That tornado risk barely clips the area. Low end hail, low end wind risk. The overall risk is relatively low, and if we saw anything, it'd be in the overnight early morning storms. So let's take a look at the future track. We got more showers and storms from out to the west that'll start to roll through as we head into the afternoon hours and into the evening. And then again, as we get into the evening, that's where we'll see more widespread showers and thunderstorms. This is where our best window of good heavy rain will come in, is as we go into the overnight and very early morning hours of Friday. So even about 5 a.m. tomorrow, still some scattered showers and storms. And again, that's going to be our window. If we're going to see a strong storm or two, that's when it's going to happen. And then this activity is out of here by about 8, 9 o'clock, but it's not our only chance of rain. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line, nobody there. If only it could be like that at rush hour, right? You know, but then we wouldn't need the roads to be as big as they are. KDOT camera, 69 and 400, 2 or 3 cars out there right now, and we've got a pretty decent start temperature-wise. So we get a little daylight. It's a little harder to see on some screens, but you can see some of the clouds out there. We're getting to that mostly cloudy phase as we see more showers develop. We're sitting at 50 in Joplin with a south breeze at about 3 miles an hour. Across the area, not bad. I mean, look at Chanute Yates Center, both at 56, 50 Parsons, 51 Pittsburgh, we're at 51 Miami, 49 in Neosho, and 50 in Carthage and Lamar. So we'll have those cloudy skies as we get our day started. Starting to see some showers develop, so we may get a few here in the early morning hours, and then we'll start to see more showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon. So ahead of the storms, we're looking at highs mid to upper 70s, but once you get under the rainfall, we're going to fall back into the mid 60s. Overnight lows tonight, not bad as we drop back into the upper 50s, and again, more showers and thunderstorms. As I mentioned, this isn't our only chance for rain. We get up near 80 tomorrow, near 90 Saturday and Sunday, if you can believe it, and then we'll have the 80s as we kick off next week, and more storm chances ahead of us as well. We'll be back with more right after this, but first, here's a live look from Wildcat Glades in Joplin.
Hundreds of unique items from iconic old school TV shows could soon be yours. Jackie Ibanez takes a look at the upcoming event from Heritage Auctions and how many of these one-of-a-kind pieces were saved from winding up in a dumpster.
An upcoming auction is promising fans of classic TV a blast from the past, featuring set pieces, costumes, and props from iconic shows like All in the Family, I Dream of Jeannie, Cheers, and much more.
When TV is done right, it really reflects what's going on in the world and in our own lives.
The items were collected throughout the decades by James Commissar, a comedy writer who spent a lot of time around TV studios.
I started doing this in 1989, and I sort of have to set the scene for what things were like in 1989. None of these pieces had any art market value. They didn't even have any historic value. When a show went off the air, the studios would either sell the props and small things on a folding table in the parking lot to the cast and crew, or they would throw it away.
The collection of roughly 1,000 items features everything from studio cameras to costumes made by fashion designer Bob Mackie and worn by Sonny and Cher, and even Carol Burnett. William Shatner's captain's shirt and other items from Star Trek, the original series, are also included, along with Batman and Robin suits worn by Adam West and Burt Ward.
I just decided these pieces should go back to the fans.
Fans of late-night TV can snag these audience chairs from the set of The Tonight Show, starring Johnny Carson, with Carson's interview desk, couch, and coffee table also up for grabs.
That's a lot of cool stuff. Well, you still have a little time to start saving your pennies. Online bidding began this week, but live bidding goes from June 2nd through the 4th in Dallas, Texas. We'll be right back. Well, the oldest living Rockette danced her way into 102 years old. Meet Florence Flipman, former dancer with the iconic Radio City Rockettes. The man was a member of the dance troupe from 1941 through 1946. Man kicked off her 102nd birthday celebrations with friends and community members at her assisted living home, complete with a birthday sash, sweets, and musicians. She's looking good. Well, when you see a Star Wars fan today, make sure to say, "May the 4th be with you," for Star Wars Day. Obviously, may the Force be with you. Many businesses are celebrating the franchise with Star Wars themed products, while movie theaters show Return of the Jedi on the big screen in honor of its 40th anniversary. StarWars.com is also offering various deals on its site and special Star Wars Day music playlists for fans of the galaxy far, far away. And two of my boys are actually wearing Star Wars shirts to schools today. Yep, they sure are.
We've got scattered showers and thunderstorms as we head into the afternoon hours. Mid to upper 70s initially, and then once you get under the rain, we're talking mid 60s. We go into tonight, more scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area, and not too bad for those lows, upper 50s. Will be decent after the showers clear out tomorrow, near 80, near 90 Saturday and Sunday, and more storm chances as we head into next week. Temperatures staying in the 80s. We'll be back right after this.
Right now at 6, the Kansas Highway Patrol finds itself in the midst of a lawsuit due to a tactic people call the Kansas two-step, where the ACLU says targets out-of-state motorists.
And we've got ourselves a nice green day across the area, but we've also got showers and thunderstorms across the area getting ready to move in this afternoon. Take a look at that forecast coming up.
And Oklahoma lawmakers tell election campaigners to stay away from polling places in order to pick up votes.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner, coming up on 6:01, and green is not inaccurate. I want folks at home to know that green's not inaccurate. I don't know if anybody's noticed, but the grass is green, the trees are green. It's green. Okay, and you know what color rain is on the radar?
Green.
Green. And that's what it looks like on the Skywatch Storm Tracker right now. In fact, we've got a lot of ground clutter out there. So earlier this morning, before we actually started to see some development, you couldn't tell anything on this because the ground clutter was just all over the place around the radar sites. But we are now starting to get some showers across parts of southeast Kansas. All of this now even into southern Vernon County. All of this is actually happening, and even these thunderstorms out by Ponca City, these have gone up within about the last 20 minutes, and it's all starting to roll to the east. So we may still get our showers and storms early this morning. Here's a wider view of all of that, and just watch it all just start to take off here across the area. This isn't strong or severe activity. It's just we're starting to get those showers going across the region. Let's take a look at our storm chances. We do have a very low-end risk of some stronger storms today, with hail and wind being the primary threat. And then back behind me here, that tornado risk barely clipping the area. If we see any stronger storms, we're talking that's going to be later this evening and into the overnight, and that overall risk is relatively low. We go into the afternoon, we start to get a few more scattered showers and thunderstorms across the area, and then as we head into the evening and overnight, that's when we'll really get our good rainmaker stuff going here as we see more showers and storms across the majority of the area. We head into 5 a.m., still ongoing, and then as we head into about 8, 9 a.m., we'll start to see these showers and storms begin to clear out of the area. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line, looking pretty good there, but we are also looking good from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Got those cloudy skies out there across the Joplin area right now, 52, calm breeze. So not too bad, just cloudy. Around the region, not bad. Look at Chanute, 57, 51 in Chetopa, Miami, 50 in Neosho, and 51 in Lamar and Carthage. Got the cloudy skies, maybe a sprinkle or two. We're in the low 70s by late morning. More scattered showers and storms through the afternoon. Initially highs mid to upper 70s, and then once you get under the rain, you're going to fall back to the mid 60s. Upper 50s overnight for lows, and as mentioned, more shower and thunderstorm activity as we head into the evening and overnight hours. Tanya?
All right, thanks, Chris. A federal lawsuit is in court this week after several people sue the Kansas Highway Patrol over a tactic known as the Kansas two-step. The lawsuit claims the tactic is when troopers find a reason to make a traffic stop, and then as the trooper heads back to the patrol car, they take a couple of steps and then return to interact with the driver again. The lawsuit contends the procedure buys time to continue seeking incriminating information and to get a drug-sniffing dog to the location, even if the trooper lacks reasonable suspicion. ACLU of Kansas says troopers use it to target out-of-state motorists coming from places where marijuana is legal. Well, a change to an Oklahoma electioneering law takes effect immediately. Electioneering is when a politician or a campaigner actively campaigns near a polling place to get votes. The law now says no person is allowed to electioneer within 300 feet of the entrance to a polling place or in-person absentee voting site during an election. It also restricts electioneering near a person who is standing in line to vote outside the polling place or in-person absentee voting site. The law previously restricted 300 feet within any ballot box. We now know the victims and causes of death in a case where an Oklahoma sex offender is believed to have killed 6 people. Authorities say Jesse McFadden shot and killed all of the victims and then shot and killed himself. Those victims include 35-year-old Holly Guess and teenagers Riley Allen, Michael Mayo, Tiffany Guess, Ivy Webster, and Brittany Brewer. All were shot in the head. According to family of the victims, the shootings happened as McFadden sent text messages to his young accuser. In those, he blamed the woman for ending his great life, and he said he was determined not to return to prison. Police say they have arrested the man suspected of opening fire inside an Atlanta medical facility yesterday, putting an end to an hours-long manhunt. A 39-year-old woman was killed and 4 other women were injured in the shooting. The victims' ages range from 25 to 71 years old. Jared Hill has the latest.
Police say the suspect in a deadly mass shooting that shut down Midtown Atlanta for hours yesterday was taken into custody without incident.
He will be charged and stand trial for his crimes.
The suspected shooter, 24-year-old Dion Patterson, a veteran of the U.S. Coast Guard. A law enforcement source tells CBS News he was in a waiting room at a hospital facility with his mother when he became agitated, took out a handgun, and opened fire, then left.
We did hear some popping noise that we didn't know what the popping noise was, so originally we just ignored it.
His mother, who wasn't hurt, told a CBS News affiliate her son suffers from mental illness. Authorities say after the alleged gunman left the building, he stole an unattended truck at a nearby gas station and then drove to neighboring Cobb County, where he was later found at a condo complex.
An undercover officer was the one that originally saw and confronted this individual and was able to then have backup from uniformed officers that came in and took him into custody.
In a statement to CBS News, the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention said their colleague, Amy St. Pierre, was killed in the shooting. Jared Hill, CBS News.
Police say the suspect's family has been cooperating with their investigation, and his mother has expressed her condolences to the victims and their families. To be the first to see breaking news, weather, and sports, you can download the KOAM News app. It's available free of charge in the Apple App Store and the Google Play Store. Just search for the KOAM News app. On Wednesday, Fort Scott Community College gave elementary students a chance to get a taste of college life. The school's Kids College event allows students to be a Greyhound for a day and explore potential pathways for their future. They were able to check out classes including crime scene investigations, history, chemical reactions, and wellness connection.
We could potentially have, the next president right here in this classroom with us. So to get them excited about continuing their education could open so many doors for them in the future.
The event was free to any interested student. On Wednesday, some Pitt State social work students showcased their community-based projects. The students' projects varied in goals. They range from raising money for charities, collecting goods for educational organizations, or educating youth about the dangers of opioids.
About just Native literature and what is out there, what's available for the youth, and just the intersectionality of it that I didn't even think of at first, like that there's Afro-Indigenous people that are Indigenous and Jewish, and there's books for all those categories, and I didn't know that.
School officials say the projects are designed to engage students with local organizations and nonprofits to better benefit the community. That's a look at this morning's top stories and weather in our first 7 minutes. Coming up on the KOAM Morning News, Chef Anthony Fisher, culinary director for the Pittsburgh High Schools, landing in Studio K this morning with a recipe for hanger steaks. Can't wait. Plus, new hope for brain cancer patients.
A possible breakthrough in the treatment of brain cancer. I'm Astrid Martinez with more about a little device that could help doctors deliver chemotherapy in a new way.
And Chris returns with another look at your forecast and when the 4 states can expect to see storms and just how long they will last. You're watching the KOAM Morning News. More real news in the morning. We'll be right back. First, here's a live look from Wildcat Glades in Joplin.
Welcome back to the KOAM Morning News. We're taking a live look from the MODOT camera 32nd and range line because we need to skip ahead a bit to the Skywatch Storm Tracker. We're starting to see some scattered showers out there across parts of southeast Kansas, now working into southwest Missouri. We've seen these thunderstorms within the last half hour or so develop out just to the east of Ponca City. And all this activity slowly rolling off to the east. So let's take a slightly wider view of this activity. And you can see here within the last 45 minutes, showers beginning to develop across the region, including these thunderstorms out by Ponca City. So we're looking at some scattered showers, and we've talked about this before, but our computer model data that we look at, there's a number of them, and I spoke with Sam about this yesterday. The most frustrating thing about our shower chances today has just been the inconsistencies, and even this morning there's been inconsistencies. This morning didn't show any of this happening, and here it is. So let's take a look at what's going to happen next. Later tonight into the overnight hours, we do have the possibility of a couple of strong storms. You can see the tornado risk barely clipping our area. It's very low. We have a low-end hail risk and a low-end wind risk. And again, if we see any of them, it would be late tonight into the overnight hours, maybe early tomorrow morning, but that overall threat for stronger storms is pretty low right now. All right, we head into the afternoon. We get these showers and thunderstorms scattered across the area. They will continue to roll through, and then as we head into the evening and overnight, that's where we're going to get more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity across the region. I mean, take a look at this much-needed rain across the region, and we are going to get a fair amount of it, upwards of 1, 2, some locations maybe even 3 inches of rainfall with this system. We go into tomorrow morning, and by about 8 or 9 o'clock, these showers and storms will be rolling out of the region. MODOT camera again, 32nd and range line. Everybody waiting on that light. And at 69 and 400 from KDOT, just south of Pittsburgh, looking good so far. Something my dad used to always tell me is, red sky at night, sailor's delight. Red sky at morn, sailor take warn. We've got that little bit of a red sky. We got some showers out there, so much needed rainfall on the way. We're at 52 in Joplin with otherwise mostly cloudy skies. Across the area, it's not a bad start for our day. We got 57 in Chanute, 52 Neodesha Parsons, 51s in Chetopa, Miami, Carthage, Lamar, Pittsburgh, and Nevada. And we got 48 in Anderson in Monette. We get our day starting to see a few scattered showers out there. Otherwise cloudy, lower 70s by late morning. We head into the afternoon. We start to see more of scattered shower and thunderstorm chances. Highs initially pushing the mid to upper 70s. Then once we get under some of that heavier rain, we're going to fall back into the mid 60s. And our overnight lows tonight, not bad as we drop back just to the upper 50s. And again, with more shower and thunderstorm activity across the area. Let's take a look at our 7-day forecast real quick. So we get the storms out of here tomorrow, pushing near 80. Look at Saturday and Sunday, near 90 degrees. We were complaining that it was too cold. And Mother Nature said, fine, let me crank it up for you. And she's certainly going to do that. We hang out mid to upper 80s through at least Tuesday. We have thunderstorm chances, scattered thunderstorm chances, Sunday through next Saturday. So much needed rain in the forecast. And temperatures hanging out upper 70s, lower 80s for the majority of the week. And look at our overnight lows. Some nights pushing near 70 degrees. That's a check of your forecast. We'll be back with Chef Anthony right after this.
Welcome back. We've got Chef Anthony Fisher from Pittsburgh High School in our test kitchen this morning, and he's going to be talking to us this morning about a particular type of grilling steak.
So we have a hanger steak this morning, and a hanger steak is not a really expensive piece of meat, but it's great for cooking on the grill.
Okay.
So
it's a big piece of meat,
too. It is a nice large piece of meat. I always tell everybody, treat it like a tenderloin.
Okay.
So the way you would cut a tenderloin, cut it across the section, that way you can cut down on the fibers so it's not so chewy and tough, and this thing just takes to char like no other.
Okay.
So this morning we're going to pan sear this, and we're going to do a little bit of work with the cast iron, but we're going to make a beautiful pineapple salsa to go along with it.
Ooh, is that what we're working on first?
That's what we're working on first. So in the bowl, I have diced onions and jalapenos, and I've used pickled jalapenos because they give off a better heat, and a little bit of the acidity from pickling works out really good. Now I'm going to hit it with a little bit of lime juice, and I'm going to add some ground cumin to it.
What does the cumin do?
It intensifies the heat,
Okay.
and you know us, we like our heat.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm going to put a little bit of black pepper in it. And a friend of mine actually did this once and accidentally added black pepper, but I've become so attached to it, I still do it today. I think it adds a nice little intensity. And a little bit of salt. Now, I have here, I've just taken a fresh pineapple and some grape tomatoes and laid them out. I have this sitting in a pan or on a rack above a pan. I like to add a little bit of intensity to this. So we're going to
Fire in the morning.
char them up a little bit.
Okay.
I like the way that it intensifies all the flavors with it. And you can see the tomato skins popping.
That's exciting. You know they're ready when they pop.
Oh, yes.
Just do one side or?
Oh, I'll go around it, but I'm going to cut them up. So I'm not too terribly worried about how much char goes onto them. I just want some char because they're going to get cut up and added to our dish. And then the pineapple, the same thing. I want to get a nice char on the edges of the pineapple. A little bit on the flat sides. Just like so. And take your time, don't rush
Is this more for presentation or does it add a difference to the flavor?
I believe it adds a little bit more to the flavor. It mellows out a little bit of the sugars. Plus the char helps if you're going to grill this steak. Instead of doing it in the cast iron, it adds a little bit of character to the steak.
Okay.
It reiterates the fact that you're cooking on the grill.
Are we going to put this together when we come back?
I'm going to put this together right now for you.
Okay.
So I'm just going to move this forward. And I did this on a rack above my cutting board so that you could actually see, and I'm protecting my surface.
Okay. Well, we're going to go ahead and go to break, and we'll show you the finished pineapple salsa and start putting together our hanger steak, or the grilling process of it.
Of
when
course.
we come back on the KOAM Morning News on Fox 14. Stick around with us. Topping Health Watch this morning, the Food and Drug Administration approved the first vaccine for RSV to protect adults 60 and older. It's called RXV, and the U.S. hopes to roll out shots before the fall and winter cold season. RSV commonly lands wheezing babies in the hospital, but it can also be deadly for seniors. A year of mandatory sodium warning labels on menu items at New York City restaurants did not lower salt content. A study in PLOS One suggests it may take more time and similar sodium labeling in other cities to lighten up on the salt. Gaining that extra hour of shut-eye when we set the clocks back in the fall is associated with increased sleep disruptions. A study in the journal Neurology finds those disturbances are short-lived, disappearing about 2 weeks after the time change. No sleep problems were noticed when the clocks jump ahead in the spring. New research is giving hope to brain cancer patients. Scientists at Northwestern Medicine say they've developed a new technique that can get through the brain-blood barrier and deliver drugs directly to tumors. Astrid Martinez reports from New York.
Indiana native Rod Boyer's life was turned upside down last summer when he was diagnosed with glioblastoma, an aggressive and uncurable form of brain cancer. The condition forced the longtime steel worker into early retirement.
I thought I probably wouldn't be around much longer.
In January, the 60-year-old enrolled in a clinical trial at Northwestern Medicine, where scientists are studying new technology to deliver treatment directly into the brain.
Most drugs don't really penetrate into the brain given this structure called the blood-brain barrier.
In a 4-minute procedure, Dr. Adam Sonnabend used a new ultrasound device implanted under the patient's scalp, all while he was awake. The team says the novel device uses microbubbles to open the blood-brain barrier, allowing 2 powerful chemotherapy drugs injected intravenously to reach critical areas of the brain.
We were able to increase the drug levels in the brain anywhere between 3.7 to 5.9 times. This is a meaningful increase in drug levels that was not ever been shown before in humans.
And they found the barrier closes again within an hour after the procedure. After 6 cycles of treatment, doctors say Boyer's MRI shows no evidence of tumor growth, and his treatment is ongoing.
It'd be nice to live 10 more years or so, really.
With his 61st birthday in July, Boyer says he's grateful for the good news thus far, giving him more time with his wife of 30 years and his loved ones. Astrid Martinez, CBS News.
Scientists at Northwestern say the next step is determine whether their treatment actually helps people live longer. They found it was well tolerated in study participants. That's a look at some of today's top health stories. You're watching the KOAM Morning News.
We've got some scattered showers developing right now across parts of southeast Kansas. We're otherwise going to be cloudy and quite mild as we get into the lower 70s by late morning. Afternoon highs today pushing the mid to upper 70s before the rain, and as the rain rolls through, we're going to start to fall back through the mid 60s. Scattered showers and thunderstorms continue overnight tonight and into early tomorrow morning, and we're quite mild too, dropping back to only 57 for our low. We go into tomorrow, once the showers clear out, say 8, 9 o'clock, we're going to be near 80 degrees. We're pushing near 90, if you can believe it or not, as we head into this upcoming weekend. And then following that, we've got more shower and thunderstorm chances kind of scattered each day next week from this coming Sunday through next Saturday. Temperatures hanging out in the 80s and upper 70s through the thunderstorms, and that allows our overnight lows to remain quite mild, even a few nights near 70. We'll be back with more of the KOAM Morning News right after this.
Right now, it's 6:30. KOAM's Yana Haudula takes us to Joplin, where the city's Chamber of Commerce celebrates National Small Business Week.
And we've got some showers beginning to develop across portions of southeast Kansas this morning. More rain on the way this afternoon. We'll take a look at that forecast coming up.
And it's almost time to dive into the pool, but some residents in Joplin worry a lack of lifeguards could keep the pools closed this summer.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Good morning and welcome to the KOAM Morning News. It's now 6:30. I'm Tanya Bach.
I'm Chris Warner. So we've got a few showers beginning to develop out across parts of southeast Kansas this morning. We're otherwise fairly mild, honestly. Let's take a look. Skywatch Storm Tracker, you can see we've got those showers now moving in even around the Nevada area, starting to creep into southwest Missouri. A few spotty showers in parts of northeast Oklahoma, and just kind of scattered around the area. And then we've got this bigger batch of showers and thunderstorms that's gone up really well within the last, say, hour or so across parts of north central Oklahoma. All of this rolling off to the east. So we're going to have to see what this activity does as the morning progresses and see if it forces any other development across parts of southeast Kansas. So here's a look, and just watch how quickly this little batch goes up here within the last hour now across parts of Oklahoma. As we go through the rest of the day, into the tonight overnight, we've got a low end risk of a strong storm or two. You can see there's a very low tornado risk barely clipping our area. We're looking mainly at the potential for some large hail and some damaging wind gusts. But again, this is going to be relatively isolated, and it'll happen sometime later tonight. We go into the afternoon, showers, thunderstorms scattered across the area, and they will roll on through. And then as we head into the evening and overnight, those showers and thunderstorms will become more widespread, all of us getting in on that rain action. And this will continue all the way through about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. MoDOT camera, 32nd and range line looks good so far. Same from the KDOT camera at 69 and 400 just south of Pittsburgh. Check out this sunrise. We got that red sky now hidden behind this box. Cloudy skies out there, mostly cloudy, 52 in Joplin. Quick look at our temperatures around the area. We got 52 Pittsburgh, Parsons, 57 Chinook, 51 Chetopa, Miami, and 50 in Neosho. And as we get our morning started, could have a few of those scattered showers out there, and then we're going to warm nicely into the lower 70s by late morning. We'll talk more about the afternoon storm chances and what this weekend is looking like. I'm going to tell you right now, it's hot, hot, hot here in just a few more minutes. Tanya?
Ooh. All right, well, this week is National Small Business Week, celebrating businesses around the nation and in Southwest Missouri. KOAM's Yana Dula talked with the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce and a business about the importance of small businesses in town.
The Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce officials have seen an increase with more individuals becoming entrepreneurs and starting new businesses post-pandemic.
Small business is truly the backbone of the country. So when you look at any economy or local economy, you have so many small businesses that just feed into each other and support the greater good.
Doug Hunt, Director of Entrepreneurship with the Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce, says the Chamber created a website called Launch in Southwest Missouri to support new business owners through the critical first years.
We wanted to launch something that was a hub that somebody could go to as a central source to find other support systems.
Josh Howard, owner of Happy Trees Table Company, started his business post-COVID, which had its hiccups.
All the raw materials, wood and resources otherwise skyrocketed. So, I definitely tried to keep those costs low for my customers as much as I can, but I think just as with every other business, we saw some increases across the board.
He likes to see communities investing in small businesses.
There's definitely kind of a transition happening in the area of people wanting to invest back into small businesses in the area more than there was, say, 5 years ago.
The Chamber of Commerce says it celebrates small businesses every week.
If you are a small business owner, you are completely focused in and zoned in on your business. So it's not just a week like the commemoration is, but it's a mindset, it's a drive, it's a determination. It's you building your business 24/7 every single day.
In Joplin, Yana Haudala, KOAM News.
Doug Hunt says National Small Business Week would be a good time to take a day off to analyze the business's systems and processes, as well as targeted demographic. Pitt State announces its newest director of athletic bands and assistant professor of music. Joseph Joby Wilson is a native of the region. He previously served as the director of athletic bands at Bentley University in the Boston area. Officials with the school say Wilson is excited to return to the area after 24 years in Boston. He will replace Professor Doug Witten, who passed away in June of 2022. The city of Joplin is in desperate need of summer lifeguards in order to open the community pools. They need at least 30 lifeguards to partially open Schiffer-Decker Pool. The city has only 2 fully trained lifeguards as of now. Joplin residents believe the lack of lifeguards is due to the low wages. One resident is concerned not only pools could be shut down.
So without having the pools open, we have the parks and those are nice, but what are they going to shut down next, honestly?
Seasonal city employees, lifeguards earn $11.58 per hour. On Wednesday, Special Olympics Kansas hosted its Southeast Kansas track and field event at Erie High School. Outside of the competitions, the festivities included face painting, music, and physical therapy sessions. Officials with the program say the event offers local athletes the chance to build relationships and compete in a friendly environment.
Today is really about celebrating our athletes through inclusion, connection, and building those relationships. The athletes have so much fun when they come here, getting their medals and being able to interact with the students, and I just think it's good on all avenues.
This is the 10th annual Special Olympics track and field event at Erie High School. And while we're talking about prizes, KOAM has some cool giveaways going on right now that you may not know about. We've got tickets to Silver Dollar City to give away, and that's going on through May the 7th. We've got some Tech It Out swag, Tech It Out Fox 14 swag, I can read, and that runs until the end of May. And we have a Mother's Day coloring contest for a Roku, and that will last until Mother's Day. We also have a Be Kind to Animals Month sweepstakes for Roku through the month of May. Just a lot of prizes out there. Just head over to our website, KOAMnewsnow.com/contacts for more information.
It's okay, Tanya. I've made mistakes too.
Stop it. Stop it. That's a look at our top news stories coming up this half hour in the KOAM Morning News. Federal Reserve moves yet again on interest rates.
The Federal Reserve moves to hike interest rates again. I'm Skylar Henry in Washington with the economic implications as lawmakers remain at an impasse over raising the debt ceiling.
1 and 2. And we've got ourselves, I was just telling Ty, I've made a mistake too. We all do it. We've got some showers out there. We're watching more thunderstorms later this afternoon. We'll take a look at that forecast and that really hot weekend. But first, here's another live look at the ever so gorgeous Wildcat Glades in Joplin.
In Consumer Watch this morning, in Iowa, lawmakers have passed a Republican-led bill that would roll back child labor protections. That includes the hours teens are allowed to work and the establishments where they can be employed. If signed, the bill would allow 14 and 15-year-olds to work 2 additional hours per day when school is in session. They would also be able to work 2 hours later in the evening than previously allowed. Also, concerns of more possible turmoil in the banking industry. Shares of PacWest Bancorp plummeted more than 50% after trading ended Wednesday, following a Bloomberg News report that it could be exploring options, including a potential sale. The mid-sized California-based bank has around $44 billion in assets. It comes just days after J.P. Morgan stepped in to buy most of another mid-sized institution, First Republic Bank. And the Federal Trade Commission says Meta misled parents and failed to protect the privacy of children using its Facebook Messenger Kids app. The agency is proposing sweeping changes to a 2020 privacy order with the social media company that would prohibit it from profiting off of data it collects from users under 18, including through its virtual reality products and other safety measures. Meta says it will fight the changes, calling the announcement a political stunt and accusing the FTC of usurping the authority of Congress to set industry-wide standards. The Federal Reserve wrapped up a 2-day meeting and announced its latest decision on interest rates. Skylar Henry is in Washington.
Interest rates are going up again. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell announced a 0.25 percentage point increase, pushing a key benchmark rate to the highest level in 16 years in an effort to bring down inflation.
We remain strongly committed to bringing inflation back down to our 2% goal.
Inflation is now at 5%, way down from the 9% jump last year.
I've definitely noticed the prices going down a little bit recently with certain items.
The latest rate hike comes just 2 days after the failure of First Republic Bank, which collapsed under rising interest rates. Powell isn't committing to a pause on future rate hikes, but didn't rule it out.
Our future policy actions will depend on how events unfold.
The Fed is also trying to navigate a political showdown happening here in Washington. President Biden is meeting with leaders from both parties next week to discuss raising the debt limit. Republicans want spending cuts attached. If a deal isn't reached, the U.S. government would default on its bills.
We are already slowing down the economy. The debt ceiling impasse could push us head first into a recession.
Powell is urging lawmakers to raise the debt limit.
A failure to do that would be unprecedented. We'd be in uncharted territory.
The Federal Reserve will hold its next meeting on interest rates in June. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
This is the 10th time the Federal Reserve has raised interest rates since March of last year. That's it for Consumer Watch. Here's Chris with another look at your forecast.
Yeah, we've got these scattered showers out there across the area, creeping into southwest Missouri around the Nevada area. You can see they're just spotty out there, but at least a few of them. And then we are keeping an eye on this batch. That is not the button I wanted, but okay. Well, we're keeping an eye on this batch of showers and thunderstorms down across Oklahoma as it's developed really within the last hour or so and is rolling slowly off to the east-northeast. So nothing strong or severe, but that might bring us some showers and storms a little earlier today. We do have that risk for some strong storms, very low-end risk for tornadoes barely clipping the area. We're talking maybe some hail and gusty winds, but again, that'll be later tonight and into the overnight hours. And let's actually back that up real quick. We'll take a look. We head into the afternoon. We see these showers and thunderstorms scattered across the area, and then we'll really see them pick up as we go into the overnight hours and into our Friday morning across the region. We'll have more on your forecast here shortly, and we've also got our daily celebration of birthdays and anniversaries just around the corner. But before we do any of that, we're going to head to New York City and see what's happening on CBS Mornings.
I'm Nate Burleson. Coming up on CBS Mornings, the star of Queen Charlotte, A Bridgerton Story, joins us to talk about the premiere of the prequel to the popular Netflix series. That's coming up on CBS Mornings.
All right, time for some Thursday birthdays here in the 4 states. We're heading over to Pittsburgh first for Penelope Grace Hart Harrison, celebrating birthday number 1. Says, Papa and Nana love you lots. Happy birthday, Penelope.
All right, and we have Leah Rush turning 3 years old this year. And happy birthday wishes come from Mommy, Daddy, Matthew, and Sawyer.
And we've got Rayleigh Rose Blackledge celebrating birthday number 5 in Joplin, and she's the one right there in the middle. A very happy birthday to
you. I like that picture. That's cute. Let's see, we've got the Mitchell twins. Oh, talk about cuteness. A double trouble there. Parker and Carter Mitchell turning 5 years old in Iola. Happy birthday from Grandma and JoJo.
And we've got Zyler Liabo celebrating birthday number 7 in Chicopee, Kansas. Happy birthday, Zyler.
All right, and Jackson Model is 10 years old this year in Pittsburgh. Oh, yeah, Leif told me it was going to be your birthday today. May the 4th be with you as well. All right, and we love you, Mom, Dad, Mimi, and Papa.
And we've got Brinley Weir celebrating birthday number 11 over in Girard with happy birthday wishes coming from Mom, Dad, and Sissy.
All right. Garrity Bishop turning 13 years old this year in Nevada with lots of love from your baby cousin and biggest fan, Fisher Kate.
And we've got Addie Finley turning 16 over in Chanute. A very happy birthday going out to Addie.
All right, Morgan Christie in Webb City. Got a note here. Miss Morgan works at Bryant Student Health Center at PSU. Well, thank you.
And we've got Chandra Clark over in Columbus celebrating a birthday to you. Happy birthday, Shonda.
And we got another Pitt State employee here, Mr. John Cooper in Pittsburgh. Happy birthday.
And we've also got Deborah Trim celebrating birthday number 56 in Thayer. Happy birthday, Deborah.
All right, in Chanute, Brenda Whitworth turning 58 this year. That's a really cool flower vase there. That's sweet.
Yes, it is. That's
Happy
very
birthday,
cool.
Brenda.
And we've got Connie Edwards celebrating birthday number 59 in Girard with happy birthday wishes coming from Mom, for Mom, from your daughter and granddaughter.
And let's see, we have Randy Beeman turning the big 6-0. All right, in Independence. Happy birthday, Randy.
And last but certainly not least, we've got Gary Ward celebrating birthday number 72 in Yates Center with love from your wife.
That's right.
Boy, that was an excellent list. And this is what I like. The bottom of our list, on our little paper list, says there's 0 birthdays without pictures. And that's what we like. We love seeing these pictures because they're always so wonderful. Lots of pictures in this. Tanya, where do they need to send their pictures so they can celebrate with us?
Well, they can simply send them, attach them to your email and send them to birthdays@KOAMnewsnow.com.
And of course, on our website, you know what else you can do? You can sign up for the KOAM Birthday Club. Get great deals from local businesses. You also get a special birthday message from your friends here at KOAM. So make sure you head over to KOAMnewsnow.com. Sign up for that birthday club today. All right, let's take a quick look at Skywatch Storm Tracker. We got a few scattered showers out here from Nevada back around the Fort Scott area. There's one in Crawford County, one to the east of Chanute. We've got a few of them out there. And then we've got this bigger batch of showers and thunderstorms just to the east of Ponca City, very slowly rolling off to the east. So we'll see what that does for us as we go through the morning. You can see it fired up pretty quickly, as did these showers out here as well. We still have that low end risk for a strong storm or two. You can see there's a very low tornado risk, just barely clipping the area. And then we've got low end risk for hail and maybe some damaging wind gusts. If we see any stronger storms, it'd be overnight tonight into early tomorrow morning. We go into the afternoon. Here we go. Scattered showers, thunderstorms start rolling across the area, and these will continue through the evening. And as we head into the evening and overnight hours, these showers and storms will increase in coverage across the area, bringing some much needed rainfall to a wide area here. And then we head into Friday morning, about 3 a.m. Again, between about 3 and 5 could be a good window for maybe a strong storm or two. It's a low risk, but if we're going to see any, that's going to be about the time we do so. And then between about 8 and 9 o'clock, these storms are on their way out of here. We'll take another look at your forecast in just a moment. And coming up, when the KOAM Morning News transitions over to Fox 14, we've got a story about heroism that you won't believe. A group of elementary school kids headed back home when the front of their bus burst into flames. Not only did the driver leap into action, save the lives of his passengers, but so did the children on board. We've got this amazing story and so much more when the KOAM Morning News switches over to Fox 14 at 7 a.m.
Here's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door. Authorities say Jesse McFadden shot and killed 6 of the victims in Henrietta, Oklahoma, and then shot and killed himself. Those victims include 35-year-old Holly Guess, teenagers Riley Allen, Michael Mayo, Tiffany Guess, Ivy Webster, and Brittany Brewer. All were shot in the head. Authorities respond to reports of a crash near Gateway, north of River Road in Saginaw, Missouri at around 2:30 Wednesday afternoon. Troopers say the vehicle was traveling north when it left the roadway to the right, hit a driveway, and went airborne. The car then overturned down a steep ravine before coming to a rest upside down. Both the driver and the passenger were transported to an area hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. City of Joplin is in desperate need of summer lifeguards in order to open the community pools. They need at least 30 lifeguards to partially open Schifferdecker Pool. City only has 2 fully trained lifeguards as of now. Joplin residents believe the lack of lifeguards is due to low wages. And this week is the National Small Business Week, celebrating businesses around the nation, including in Southwest Missouri. Joplin Area Chamber of Commerce officials say they celebrate small businesses every week to support new business owners get past the critical first years. The chamber created a website called Launched in Southwest Missouri. That's a check of today's top headlines, the news you need to know before you head out the door.
And we've got some scattered showers and thunderstorms, and those will be increasing as we head into the afternoon and evening hours. Highs ahead of the storms, mid to upper 70s, and once you get under the rain, you're going to fall back into the mid 60s. Nice night tonight, aside from the storms. We need the storms, but I mean temperature-wise, we're talking upper 50s. We'll have those showers and thunderstorms continuing into the overnight hours. As we look ahead, once the storms get out of here about 8, 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, we'll be near 80, near 90 this weekend, if you can believe it. And then we've got scattered shower and thunderstorm chances next Sunday all the way through next Saturday. Temperatures upper 80s and upper 70s. Overnight lows into the 60s to near 70.
All right, well, coming up today at noon, we're making a ricotta cheesecake with berries in the Mr. Food Test Kitchen.
All right, your morning news continues on KOAM with CBS Mornings. Amazon Books editorial director shares the top recommendations to celebrate Asian Pacific American Heritage Month. That's ahead on CBS Mornings.
Or you can switch on over with us on Fox 14, where your only local morning news continues. And this morning, Chef Anthony Fisher heads into Studio K with a recipe for hanger steaks. We're talking about grilling season here. Yeah, you don't want to miss this.
With these temperatures coming up, it's a grilling season for sure. Plus, we've got Jason Wells and Casey Kerrigan from the Columbus Saddle Club here to tell us all about the 4th annual Bowls and Barbecue event. So make sure you stick around for that as well. That's going to wrap it up for us for now. We will see you back here tomorrow morning at 5 a.m.
All right, and we'll see you today at noon.